Hello, today you will learn about a very interesting subject, the balanced diet, a topic from Unit 1, Nutrition and Health, Chapter 2, the basic principles of a balanced diet. The main objectives of this lesson. You will be able to recognize that food intake or consumed food must cover the expenditure of energy necessary for all the body functions, and ensure cellular and molecular renewal. In other words, this food intake must cover the permanent food requirements in matter and in energy. Secondly, you will be able to recognize that food requirements should be covered in quantity related to the amount of food supply, as well as inequality related to the nature of food supply. And finally, know that the principle of a balanced diet consists of balancing the supply with the body needs, but certain rules should be respected, practical and easy to apply rules that you will discover them later. Let's begin by explaining why our body needs are they permanent. First, because of molecular renewal. Take for example, water losses through sweat. This amount is 50 milliliter per hour while sleeping. It increases with the increase of the intensity of the physical activity to reach 1200 milliliter per hour while running. So this clearly shows us that losses are permanent. That's why body needs are permanent. In addition to molecular renewal, there is also cellular renewal. Taking for example, the cells of the upper layer of the skin. These cells are renewed every week. It's also the case of red blood cells. The lifespan of these cells is much longer, about 100 days, which means that these cells survive in blood circulation about 100 days. But red blood cells are constantly degraded and renewed. Cells are replaced by new ones. So losses are permanent, which induces permanent needs. What is the fate of consumed food? First, food undergoes digestion. This food is made up of complex organic molecules of proteins, lipids, and carbohydrates. During digestion, these molecules are hydrolyzed or decomposed into simpler molecules called the nutrients. Amino acids from proteins, fatty acids from lipids, simple sugar from carbohydrates. Then these nutrients are absorbed by the blood or the lymph and distributed to the body cells where they undergo assimilation. During assimilation, these nutrients are assimilated by the cells for the synthesis of our own organic matter, proteins required for cells. Consumed food, composed of proteins of animal or of plant origin, are hydrolyzed into amino acids. These amino acids are used by the cells for the synthesis of our own proteins, and the cells put in reserve the excess of certain nutrients that exceed our body needs, such as fats. Cells also use nutrients for oxidation, a degradation reaction. During oxidation, an organic matter such as glucose, the most energetic molecule in our body, reacts with oxygen to produce carbon dioxide, water, and energy necessary for all the body functions. Losses in matter occur during oxidation. In this example, carbon dioxide and water produced are eliminated from the body during respiration. Another loss in matter, urea, a waste product produced during oxidation of proteins, is eliminated from the body in the urine. So body losses are permanent, which induces permanent needs. Our body needs are quantitative and qualitative. Let's start off by the quantitative needs. This circle graph shows the energy expenditure for a very active man. Let's see if the food needs for this man the same as for another man who is not very active. The answer is absolutely not, since the muscle activity for the active man is higher than that for a man who is not very active. Being active, a higher muscle activity induces an increase in the total energy expenditure, which must be covered by food supply. So, food needs for an active man are higher than those for a man who is not very active. Let's move on to the qualitative needs of the body. The first need requirements in lipids. Fatty acids are lipid nutrients. It has been proven experimentally that a diet deficient or totally free of fatty acids provokes a reduced growth of young rats, infertility, weakening of their ability to reproduce, and skin lesions. So you can conclude that fatty acids have important roles in the body. In fact, fatty acids have a great energy value. For example, fatty acids serve as the preferred source of energy for muscles during exercises of certain intensities. Besides their role as a source of energy, fatty acids have great nutritional values since they provide essential substances that enter in the structure of cell membranes and nerve cells. For example, in the composition of myelin sheath that surrounds the axon of nerve cells. It speeds up the propagation of nerve messages, and the partial destruction of this myelin sheath provokes a severe disease called multiple sclerosis. In addition, fatty acids enter in the synthesis of certain hormones, such as sexual hormones, testosterone, progesterone, and certain vitamins. Another qualitative need requirements in proteins. Proteins are large molecules consisting of one or more long chains of amino acids. Proteins are made up of hundreds to thousands of amino acids, the 20 different amino acids presented in this document. The total length of a protein is so important to its function, but the sequence, which is the arrangement of amino acids in a specific order in a protein, mainly determines this function. A good example of this, the three different peptides A, B, and C, each one is made up of 5 different amino acids. The same amino acid make up the 3 peptides, but these amino acids are arranged in different order. So you can see that we have 3 different sequences, so 3 different peptides. Dietary amino acids form our structural and functional proteins. To illustrate the role of structural proteins, take for example this child affected by progeria, a disease characterized by a deficiency in structural protein resulting in rapid appearance of aging. And functional proteins such as enzymes, for example DNA polymerase, RNA polymerase, lactase, amylase, etc., all serve important roles in our body functioning. Certain amino acids are qualified to be essential amino acids since they cannot be made by the body, and you should get them from foods rich in proteins. A reasonable daily need in proteins is 1 gram per kilogram per day. For example, for a body weight 70 kilogram, the daily need in protein is 70 grams. In case of excess intake, this excess contributes to the formation of reserve lipids. It's the case of certain individuals or bodybuilders who consume protein supplements for muscle development. If this supplement is not associated with exercising and exceeds the body needs, it's converted and contributes to the formation of fats which is stored, leading to obesity. It may also induce a harmful effect on liver and kidneys which eliminate waste products, urea and ammonia. In case of deficiency, it causes a degradation of muscle proteins. This leads to muscle loss or the volume of the muscle decreases. In addition to requirements in proteins, lipids, and carbohydrates, our body needs vitamins. They are organic substances provided by food, and they are essential for the body in small quantities, unlike proteins, lipids, and carbohydrates. Vitamin deficiency or lack of vitamins leads to malnutrition diseases called avitaminosis. For example, a vitamin C or vitamin C deficiency induces scurvy characterized by bleeding, gum inflammation, etc. This disease was common among sailors and pirates, particularly who spending long periods of times at sea with limited supplies of fresh vegetables and fruits rich in vitamin C, but well supplied with carbohydrates, lipids, and proteins. This disease was simply cured by supplementing diet with citrus fruits. Vitamins are classified into two groups. Vitamins soluble in water, hydrosoluble vitamins, they are vitamins B and C. The excess of these vitamins is not stored in the body, but it is eliminated in the urine. And liposoluble vitamins, or vitamins soluble in fats, they are the vitamins A, D, E, and K. These vitamins are stored in the body. Moreover, the body requires minerals or inorganic substances. For example, water, the main component of a human body, it represents 60 to 70% of our weight and intervene in the dissolution and the transport of the different nutrients throughout the body. Water is lost through sweat, urine, etc. during respiration. Taking the same example studied before, the amount of water lost through sweat is 50 milliliter while sleeping. This amount increases with the increase of the intensity of the physical activity to reach 1200 milliliter per hour while running. So this shows that losses are permanent. That's why water requirements are permanent. Mineral salts dissolved in water are essential for the proper functioning of the body. They ensure electrolytic equilibrium of body cells or maintaining fluid balance among the different compartments, blood, lymph, and intracellular fluid. Also, they are the component of different parts of the body. They include calcium that builds proteins and teeth, iron, an essential component of hemoglobin, iodine, an essential component of thyroid hormones. The following document represents the percentage of goiter, enlargement of the thyroid gland, as function of the amount of iodine in water. The percentage of individual showing goiter is 1% in population A for 2.3 microgram of iodine per 100 centimeter cube of water. This percentage is higher, 56% in population B for 0.04 microgram of iodine per 100 centimeter cube of water. You can see that the percentage of goiter increases with the decrease of iodine intake. So you can conclude that iodine prevents goiter. And finally, balanced food ration consists of balancing the supply with expenditure in quantity as in quality. The first rule to follow is the formula 421 equals CPL. The meaning of this formula is represented in this table, which shows the recommended daily needs with the percentage of total energy intake. 4 portions or 4 serving of carbohydrates means 4C. 2 portions of proteins, thus 2P. 1 portion of lipid, so 1L. This formula is not ideal, but easy to apply. And you should distribute the energy intake throughout the day. Your breakfast should provide at least 25% of the total energy intake. Breakfast is so important for our well-being. And adopt a diversified diet that includes fibers. They are indigestible carbohydrates, They are not digested, which improve intestinal transit, and they are so important for our digestive health. You must balance the supply between the amount of animal proteins with the amount of plant proteins in equal ratio 1 to 1, although animal proteins are more consumed in rich and well-developed countries. And you should consume 3 times more sugar with low assimilation than sugar with rapid assimilation, and 2 times more lipids of plant origin than lipid of animal origin. Moreover, we have the food pyramid, which is a simple way to illustrate a balanced diet in quantity as in quality. In the food pyramid, the daily recommended amount of food decreases as going up along the food pyramid. The bottom of the pyramid is the group of food that provides low sugar fibers such as bread, cereals, rice, and pasta. Above the base layer on the left, vegetable group, and on the right, fruits group that provide minerals, vitamins, fibers, plant proteins, and rapid sugar. The next layer on the left, the dairy group that provide proteins of animal origin, calcium and other minerals. And on the right, proteins group such as in meat that provide animal proteins, minerals and liposoluble vitamins. The top layer is the fats group that you are supposed to avoid or limit the quantity to less than 1 portion. A food pyramid is represented in another way, but respecting the same proportions. 1 portion corresponds to 1 tomato, 1 apple, 90 grams of meat or fish, 1 egg, also 1 glass of milk or 60 grams of cheese. Now you are ready to solve this application exercise. It consists of a text followed by a series of questions. For the first question, you are asked to pick out from the text, firstly, 2 symptoms observed in affected infants. First step, you have to read the text. Secondly, look for keywords included in the question. Hypothyroidism is due to either a malfunction of the thyroid gland or malnutrition. This sentence doesn't match to what the question asks. In infants, this is the first keyword included in the question. This disease is manifested related to symptoms. So this is the sentence where we can find the answer that we are looking for. So you can pick out 2 symptoms out of 3. For the second question, you are asked to pick out from the text the definition of a goiter. Do a quick scan on the rest of the text. Indeed, you can spot the keyword goiter in the third sentence. And goiter is the swelling in the fourth sentence. So if the swelling, this is the definition of goiter. So you can pick out the whole sentence as answer. For the third question, you are asked to pick out from the text the possible causes of hypothyroidism. Hypothyroidism is due to either a malfunction of the thyroid gland or malnutrition. Is due, which means that it is caused. So this sentence is the correct answer. Let's sum up the main points. The permanent food requirements are covered by the daily food intake. Food supply should be diversified in quantity as in quality. So that's all for this session. Thank you for listening and best regards.